Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Last time we went ahead and explored Termina a little bit, made our way over to Romani Ranch, and we got ourselves a new mask, the Bunny Hood. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and use our newly acquired Bunny Hood and make our way over to West Clocktown here. Specifically, I want to enter this building here. This is the post office. Now normally you can't get into the post office, but at certain times, you're allowed to enter. Right now, I wanted to enter at 3 p.m. because doing so, we will run into the postman himself. So let's go ahead and talk to him. 4, 5, 6. What? You startled me. Do not disrupt my training. In my mind, I am running for exactly 10 seconds without looking at a clock. I was in the middle of mental training. You may make fun of me, but this is quite difficult. Will you try it? Sure. Press A to start, count 10 seconds, and the precise moment you think you hit 10 on the dot, press A again. So after a couple seconds, the timer will go away. So now I have to count in my head. So I have to press the button now and get 977, so I pressed it too early. Almost. That was a close one. Oh, nothing. Just talking to myself. You look like you want to try again. I'll let you try, but it'll cost you 2 rupees. Will you try again? Not right this moment. You're disrupting my training. Shoo! Shoo! The postman, whose priority is delivery, was added to your notebook. I don't know why you are using your hands in this way while running, sir. I'm very concerned. Let's put on our bunny hood and now talk to him again. 4, 5, 6. Those ears. Oh, they're fake. Startled me. Don't disrupt my training. So now we're going to do the same thing again, but now wearing the bunny hood. And there's a very specific reason. So now, if we press the A button to start, watch our timer. This time, it stays around. With the bunny hood, you can go ahead and cheat in this game and keep the timer up on screen. So now, 992, are you kidding me? I almost had it, but I pressed the button like a frame early. Alright, fine, I'll pay you the 2 rupees this time. I got away for a freebie here by just putting on the bunny hood. This time around, I'll give you the money. This game can be a little precise, so you may have to try this a couple times, but that's 10 exact. We got it. 3rd try. 10 seconds? That's amazing. You have reflexes suitable for a postman. As thanks for showing me something impressive, I'll give you this. For completing this little timing minigame, you get yourself a piece of heart. 2 down, 2 more to go to make a full heart container. I can't be like this. I'll have to train more. More! You showed your wild instincts. That was added to your notebook. So it is possible to complete that game without the bunny hood. You could cheat and use a timer in real life to make that easier, but I'd rather just do it with the bunny hood just to make it more consistent. This week's schedule. Morning, collection. Afternoon, delivery. Evening, practice. The week's motto, don't slack off. The heavens and the wife are watching. Mayor Daltor. Well, that's some words to live by. I can see you have some encouragement there, dude. I'm not gonna leave town now. I really just needed to go ahead and take care of the postman thing before we were ready to go ahead and embark on our journey back out in the Termina. So let's just go ahead and leave this town. So we got a sword. We know it's dangerous out there, but let's go. So I want to go ahead and preference something before we continue on too far. I've already started this cycle, as you can tell, doing a couple different things. One of them is getting me the land title deed. I want the land title deed going to our next area, and you'll see why here in just a little bit. But this is where we need to go. Right here is where we're being told by Tattle to go next, to the south. So let's go ahead and make our way over in this direction. Oh, I remember this. Tail and I drew this with the Skull Kid when we first met him. He told us that he had been fighting with his friends and that they left him all alone. I'm sure it's because he was always playing tricks, so nobody wanted to play with him. But to do what he did, just because of that. And once he got his power, why I think of you, Skull Kid. Thanks for the rupee. That was a very heartwarming story, though, you gotta admit. Skull Kid was a very happy kid at one point, but when he got a hold of Majora's Mask, that's when things changed. But that's because of the evil power inside the mask, like we were told from the Happy Mask Salesman. That mask can do a lot of bad, so we need to get that back. So, before we continue on, though, I want to go ahead and shoot down these enemies here on the tree, which is a little tricky to do, but I do want to use Towel to inspect these things. This is a bad bat. If you don't do something before it swoops down on you, well, just don't come running to me. You know, I could just shield it and be fine, so it doesn't matter. Weird thing about this enemy, in this game they're called Bad Bat, but in like every other Zelda game, this enemy is called a Keese. For some reason, their name is different in this game, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it's such a weird name change. Also, this tree is the hardest thing to climb in the world, because every time you try to climb, there's a bat swooping in, ready to attack you. I almost got hit again there. If you can climb this tree, you get yourself a piece of heart. So I'm not worried about that damage we just took. We just got all that health right back. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump down into this grotto here, and we get to see what's inside. First things first, I'm going to kill these Deku Bobs real quick, just to get me some Deku Sticks and Deku Nuts. Why not, right? They're freebies. And inside this chest is 20 bucks. Nice. Get out of here. That's really all I wanted to come down here for, just a quick 20 rupees. It does help having more money. Now I want to head over here real quick, because this has the Swamp Shooting Gallery ahead. But that's not all that's in this area. So, this area has one of our major differences between the N64 version of this game and the 3DS version. Because in the 3DS version, we don't just have a shooting gallery. There is yet another building here. This is where you can go fishing in Majora's Mask 3D. There's a second building over here exclusively in the 3DS version. So let's go ahead and enter inside of it. Welcome to the Swamp Fishing Hole. Remember back in the Deku Playground when we were showing off in the 3DS version, instead of getting 50 rupees on day 1 and 2, we instead got something called the Fishing Hole Pass. This is one of the 2 locations in Majora's Mask 3D where this item is used at. As you see, we can either redeem this at the Swamp or Ocean Fishing Hole, Right now, we do not have access to this ocean fishing hole, so as of right now, we can only use it here in the swamp. So, let's go ahead and do just that. So, let's go ahead and talk to the guy behind the desk. Hey, so, feel like going fishing? No time limit, 50 rupees. Free if you got a fishing hole pass. So, we could pay him 50 rupees to fish, but since we have 2 fishing hole passes, might as well use one up. Hey, cool. Just fork over 1 fishing hole pass then. So, which fishing rod do you want? You can either use the standard fishing rod, which will always stay above water, or we can use the fishing rod that has a sinking lure attached to it, which will go under the water. I'm going to go ahead and pick the sinking lure option. A rod with a sinking lure then. Nice, just a ticket for catching fishies who hang near the bottom of the water. Then, bottom dwellers. Sweet, go show them fishies who's boss. So, this here is the fishing mechanic returning from Ocarina of Time. This was in original Ocarina of Time and also in Ocarina of Time 3D, but fishing is nowhere to be found in Majora's Mask, the sequel to the game. You would think that would still be featured in Majora's Mask since Majora's Mask was reusing a lot of assets from Ocarina of Time. So, returning in Majora's Mask 3D is now fishing. If this is something you really like in Ocarina of Time, it is back here. And this is a pretty big fishing pond as you can see, but we can go ahead also and put on our Deku mask here, and notice how we're still using the fishing rod. We can go ahead and use our transformations here in fishing, which is very nice because in this area, we have lily pads here we can go ahead and traverse on, so we want to go ahead and use our Deku form to bounce around, making this a lot easier. And there's another thing I can go ahead and do here. I want to go ahead and put on the Bremen mask, and I'm going to go ahead and start marching. This may seem weird, but this has a purpose. There are certain fishes that respond to different songs and different masks in both the swamp and ocean fishing pond. Right now, we only really have access to the Bremen mask exclusive fish, which is called a cuckoo fish. Putting on the Bremen mask and marching in place like this, the fish will start swimming towards Link in a straight line. But from the looks of things, I'm not seeing that effect happen right now, so we may not actually see that fish. Unless that fish swimming away could be the one I'm thinking of. That would be kind of weird if it swam away. So, this area I haven't really messed around with much personally. I think fishing is a cool idea, but it's not really one of my favorite things that I can do in Ocarina of Time. And same goes for Majora's Mask. I'm not the biggest fan of the fishing mechanic from Ocarina of Time in general, and it's no different in this game. We can go ahead and press the B button to cast our lure out, and since we have the sinking lure, if we wait to just let it sink, it'll go down pretty far. We can go ahead and press the A button to reel in, and if you hold down R, you'll reel in faster. You tap B, you'll pull back your fishing rod ever so slightly, pulling the lure in closer. If you just rotate the analog stick, same effect will happen depending on what direction you hit. You can press L to change your targeting a total of 3 times. It's a little more awkward as you notice using the sinking lure, so it's not the most ideal here. But I'm going to go ahead and just try to fish for a while here and see if I can catch something in this area. Alright, got something here. Let's go ahead and try to pull this in. Be very careful not to snap the line, because a fish will fight you and it will break your fishing line after a while. One thing I recommend doing is actually changing your targeting to Link so we can go ahead and see how he's handling the fishing rod. This, for me, just makes things a little bit easier, so I can see what angle I'm pulling back on exactly. So right now I'm pulling back left, and then swapping back right, and I'm just going to alternate between the two depending on which way this fish is fighting. This guy is definitely putting up a fight, and it's a little awkward to get him up here on this platform. But I just want to be very careful here to not overdo the force I have on my fishing rod. If the guy fights too much, I'm going to let go of A for a moment, so that way he doesn't snap my line in two. If that happens, we lose the fish and we have to try again. We luckily don't have to pay for a new line or a new sinking lure or anything like that. It's just automatically fixed up. There we go. We got our fish. We got a lively terminal loach. This one is 21 centimeters long. Nice. Good job. This is the first time we caught one of these fellers. And then we just release it, and that's it. So, not very much you can do here with fishing. It's a cool little mechanic returning from Ocarina of Time. I'm glad to see it back. And this is a nice little extra for the 3DS version. But, in terms of 100% requirements in the game, there is no items tied here to fishing that you have to worry about. No heart pieces, no items, no masks, no songs, nothing. This area is 100% optional, and there's no need to worry about ever doing fishing if you're not a fan of it, which is a very nice thing. So I'm going to go ahead and quit now. We can also swap out our fishing rod if we want, but I don't really have any use for this one. Just to demonstrate what this rod can do real quick, we cast it out, and unlike the sinking lure, it will just stay on the surface here of the water. So instead of sinking down, we just kind of sit here, and we just wait for the fish to pay attention and grab it, which I'm not sure. This one actually might be doing that. Okay, well, I guess we're catching another fish before we leave. So while we're catching this fish, there are exclusive fishes per fishing hole. And since this is going to be the only time we're going to be exploring the swamp fishing hole here, I'm going to go ahead and on screen now show you all the fish that you can catch in this location. And this also goes for different effects here too. So with different masks and different songs, you can get different fishes, and certain fishes only appear at certain times of day and also certain days in the day-night cycle here. So keep that in mind. There we go, we caught ourselves a Termita bass. This one's 12 centimeters long. Release that, let it go, because I don't really need to keep it, and that's that. Over here we got some signs, which if we go ahead and check these, this tells us a description of each one of the fishes here. So if you want more information about each fish, well, here you go. And this can give you hints about how to catch these, and what times of day or what specific things you need to do in order for these fish to appear. But that is that, so I'm going to go ahead and turn in my fishing rod here and leave. But before so, hey, let's have a quick chat. If you fling the water's surface all gentle-like, then fishes will get all curious and swim closer. Go on, give it a try. That's a nice little hint. You can get different hints depending on just what exactly he has to say at the time with the chatting option, but we're done for real. So, saying nothing, you don't just put this away. Normally in Ocarina of Time, you would actually need to talk to this guy in order to put away the fishing rod because you wouldn't be able to leave. But in Majora's Mask, all you gotta do is walk up to the door here and he asks, "Are you done?" If you say keep fishing, then you can't leave yet. You can continue to fish. But we are done. So give him back the fishing rod, and that is that. Now we are allowed to leave. But that is that. That is fishing in Majora's Mask 3D. And it's a very nice extra here that we have in the game. Again, not a thing I'm really all that big into, but if it's something that you're into, it's a returning thing from Ocarina of Time that I find to be a nice little addition here to Majora's Mask. But now with that said, we're going to go ahead and end things here. Next time on Let's Play Majora's Mask, we're going to go ahead and enter Southern Swamp for real. I'll see you guys next time.